Warning! The following contains nothing but spoilers for Pokémon Gold and Silver. Welcome to the world of Johto! Pick your starter and build a team while you travel this new area. Once again, your goal is to collect the 8 badges so you can challenge the Elite Four and the Champion and become the most powerful trainer in the world. After spreading around the world faster than a viral cat video, the Pokémon games were due for a sequel, and this time it would be on the Game Boy Color. To this day, I'm amazed at the amount of content that Gold and Silver brought to the table. In fact, there was so much change that this new series would be called Generation 2, and all the previous original games would now be called Generation 1. Using a battery in its cartridge, the games now kept track of the flow of time. Certain Pokémon would only come out at night, others during the day. Berries would regrow on trees, and there were specific events that happened on specific days of the week. The random trainers you battled also got quite the upgrade. Each was given a specific first name to go along with their trainer class. And after you battled most, you could exchange phone numbers, and they would call you if they wanted to rematch, or if there was a swarm of particularly hard to find Pokémon in the area. Aside from the whole "I'm gonna stand here for all eternity," they started to feel a little bit more like actual people. The Pokémon themselves also got some major changes. In addition to 2 new types, Steel and Dark, Pokémon could now hold an item, allowing for a greater degree of customization. But the most significant change was the addition of Pokémon genders. With a few exceptions, each Pokémon would now appear as a male or female of its species, and you, the player, had the option to breed them. All you had to do was go to the Pokémon daycare and drop off 2 compatible Pokémon of opposite genders. With a little luck, they would somehow produce an egg. This made Pokémon feel even more like individual beings, and opened up a world of possibility for players to competitively breed Pokémon with specific movesets. To top it all off, Pokémon could now evolve in new and interesting ways. Some Pokémon could evolve down different paths, some would evolve when holding a specific item, and others would even evolve if their friendship stat was high enough. Naturally, the basic structure of the narrative remained mostly the same, giving us 8 new gym leaders. Falkner, Bugsy, Whitney, Morty, Chuck, Jasmine, Price, and Claire missed a specific type that wasn't present in the original game. Once again, the gym leaders had personalities or jobs associated with the type theme of their gym. Chuck can throw boulders. Bugsy does bug research. Price is a cold and distant man. Morty has ghostly visions of the day he will encounter a legendary rainbow-colored bird, and Claire is so hot-headed she flat out refuses to give you the badge until you complete a fetch quest. Falkner, the flying-type gym leader, is the only one without much personality. He just inherited the gym from his father. And then we have Whitney. Since normal types are fairly ordinary, Whitney is all about cute and adorable Pokémon, which is hilarious because her gym is extremely hard. So much so that it became an internet joke. In fact, this is one of the few things that the anime was actually spot on with.
Miltank, use rollout attack!
Finally, we have Jasmine, my favorite of the Johto leaders, who happens to be a complete subversion of the type theme of her gym. She commands the cold and hard steel types, yet she's kind, caring, and gentle. We know this because she won't even battle you until you've acquired medicine for a sick Pokémon in the lighthouse. When I first played through Gen 2, I was really pleased to see a gym leader doing something outside of their gym, and this is something that the other generations could have had a lot more of. During your adventure, you'll probably recognize a familiar face from Gen 1. Lance the Dragon Master is here, and he's looking into a mysterious signal that's forcing Magikarps in a lake to evolve. For people who played the first generation as much as I did, it was great to see someone we already recognized as a powerful trainer, and to fight alongside him was just awesome. And of course, there's a new rival. While Blue from the previous previous generation was teasing and taunting you, Silver is an actual criminal. He stole a Pokémon from Professor Elm's lab, constantly views weak and sick Pokémon as useless, and he comes across as a very cruel trainer. In fact, he has no interest in collecting badges. All he wants to do is beat Team Rocket. There's a reason for this. Meanwhile, Team Rocket has a plan of their own. After taking over the radio tower, they broadcast their theme song, hoping to bring Giovanni back from hiding. It's an interesting plan, and once you defeat them, Team Rocket will abruptly disappear, and the guy blocking the 8th gym will finally move. After getting the 8 badges and making it through Victory Road, it's time to take on the Elite Four. But just like the first game, you've already met the champion. It's Lance and his armada of Dragonites. A couple of ice moves later, and you are the new Pokémon champion. And that's all for my analysis. Thanks for—
Hold it!
Yeah, I had to do it. At this point, everyone already knows this twist, but after you beat Lance, the story is far from over. It's time to take a trip down memory lane as you return to all the cities of the original game, now known as the Kanto region. The events in Gold and Silver take place 2 years after the events of the original game, and in that time, a lot has changed. For starters, the mayor of Cerulean City has finally decided to build an entrance. Meanwhile, on Cinnabar Island, the volcano erupted and Blaine had to move his gym to the Seafoam Islands. And after Koga got promoted to the Elite Four, Janine replaced him as the gym leader of Fuchsia City. And of course, the Lavender Town music has been changed to something that isn't going to terrify small children. Other elements specifically pay homage to the Gen 1 games. For example, Snorlax is once again blocking your path, and the president of the Pokémon fan club still won't stop talking about Rapidash. But what about Blue? Well, it turns out he's the 8th gym leader now, replacing Giovanni after his disappearance. These past 2 years have apparently been quite humbling for him, and he seems to have grown in the process. Collecting all 16 badges unlocks the path to Mount Silver. Here you will find the last dungeon of the game, and if you climb to the top, you'll be greeted with another familiar face. That's right, it's a battle against the former protagonists, making it clear that they exist as separate entities in the same world. In the end, this battle ended up raising far more questions than it answered. Why did he abandon his post as the Pokémon champion? Why doesn't he say anything? During the Kanto scenario, Silver appears on Mount Moon, training, but he seems a little different this time. Losing to Lance has caused him to question his methods, and now he's changed. During the final rival battle on the Indigo Plateau, his Golbat has now evolved into a Crobat. This is important, because Golbat only evolves if you have high enough friendship with your Pokémon. This has become one of the most well-known examples of how gameplay can represent character development. Silver's Crobat is proof that he has finally formed a genuine bond with his Pokémon. Sadly, this is also the game's biggest flaw. Silver's character arc is incomplete. Part of the problem is that Silver's motivation comes from his hatred of Team Rocket. This would be fine, except that Team Rocket virtually disappears during the Johto scenario. Aside from some random Team Rocket dude who steals a machine part for no reason, they don't even show up in the Kanto scenario at all. It's kind of anticlimactic, and as a result, Silver's character arc becomes little more than a side quest when it should have been at the heart of the overall story. I have a sneaking suspicion that the developers either ran out of time or space on the cartridge because it seems like there's a huge chunk just missing. What's more, we never get to find out the huge plot twist involving Silver's identity. It's such a shame because this had the potential to be an incredible story. Just imagine, what if Giovanni heard the broadcast and decided to come out of hiding? What if he came up with some crazy plan in the Kanto region while you were working on your second set of badges? And what if Silver heard about this and seized the opportunity to confront Giovanni? Of course, since he's still not in sync with his Pokémon, he would probably end up losing. And then he would have to do the unthinkable and ask you, the player, for help in defeating his father. And that's all for my analysis. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below.